Hello everyone, welcome to my Team Rocket Strikes Again speculation and ideas video. I am very excited for this set and I just couldn't wait to get a speculation and ideas video out. I'm gonna go through the history of Team Rocket and see what we can cook up with some of these old cards, what would make sense coming into the old format, and also kind of rearranging some of the cards and seeing if we can make them a little better and maybe even figure out how they would fit into our current meta forecast. And if you like these kinds of videos, please give us a subscribe. We are really building and I'm working really hard and I'm trying to get my life and work balance together, but a subscribe would make my life so much easier. Alright, let's get into the first set. Alright, so Team Rocket. I really love Team Rocket. My girlfriend loves Team Rocket. Everybody I know loves Team Rocket. I'm just kidding. It's a really toxic set. And one of the biggest worries that I have is that this set, Team Rocket's Return, will bring in a lot of toxic cards. So let's just hope that is not the case. And instead that Pokemon Company comes in and finds my ideas and say, hey, we're hiring you. No, I'm just kidding. Pokemon ain't gonna do that. I'm just a guy. But anyways, let's see what I was cooking up in the kitchen. So my first idea, Dark Vileplume, coming back as an ability stopper from anywhere in the entire board state. Just like Garbotoxin, except it's a stage 2, which would make it fair and more fun and more challenging and very well needed. These abilities out here with Charizard and Regidrago and, Ogerpon are just getting ridiculous. They cannot be stopped. These EX Pokemon need to be nerfed. And Iron Thorns, yes, is a great Pokemon to have, but single prize decks just do not exist, and with a single prize like Dark Vileplume, I think it would be able to make things more fair. Alright, my next thing is Dark Persian. My idea for it is it's got an ability, probably it's called Fascinate, and when you evolve this Pokemon, your opponent either has to discard 2 of their cards or allow you to dust one of their Pokemon from their bench, which I think would make a lot of sense because it has a 0 retreat cost, so you can just retreat and then put whatever you need in the active. Or, your opponent just discards 2 cards and, they're pretty much screwed. So yeah, I think that would be a really cool ability. Alright, and Dark Dugtrio. I think it should have an ability, Sinkhole, but instead of its, coin flip ability, next turn, if your Pokemon or opponent's Pokemon retreats, they basically have to take 30 damage, which is pretty much like the reverse switch card. But I think it would be really good because it would stop Guardy from being so good if this was heavily played. But again, it's a stage 1 and, just like Rabska, people don't play stage 1s very well, especially for support. They play stage 2 though. They do play stage 2 with Pidgeot, but Pidgeot is that good. Maybe Dark Vileplume might be that good too, who knows, but stage 1s always get the short end of the stick. Sometimes it's like the middle child, But anyways, moving on. The Team Rocket returning trainer ideas. So, some of these trainers I really love to death, so I just need to show y'all. Hoop Gas Attack as an A-Spec would be super duper cool. For 1 turn, your opponent cannot have any abilities. No Charizard, no Pidgeot, no Ogerpon, no, maybe no Squawkabilly on their first turn. That would really ruin them. No Lumineon, no Rotom, no Pheasantipity, nothing. They would be gone. They would be just straight to the Shadow Realm because Goop Gas Attack would hurt your opponent that much. And yeah, I think that would be great to have in the meta because 1 turn is really what counts. And then your A-Spec for Nightly Garbage Run would allow a combination of 6 Pokemon and or any energies, special energies included, back into the deck. I think special energies get such a bad rap that it's really hard for them to come back into the deck and do any more damage. So Nightly Garbage Run, you know, you could get that legacy energy back in and really screw your opponent. Or your double turbo that you need for your Iron Hands. You never know. This card is full of potential. The Boss's Way. I think you can look for 3 Pokemon cards with Rocket or Giovanni in its name, and then you just, or Dark in its name, and then you just get them. Kind of like Lance, but you have more of a broad standing, where Lance can get you 3 Dragon Pipe Pokemon, Boss's Way can get you 3 of any Pokemon with Dark, Giovanni, or Rocket in its name. And then Rocket's Sneak Attack. I turn this into an item card and called it Rocket Sneak Ray because it really is more fitting as an item card. And what I said is if you're behind on prize cards, you can look at your opponent's hand and shuffle a card back into the deck. I think that would be a really, really, really good when you are losing, but not when you're winning. So it really does balance things out with the great hand disruption. And Dusknoir and Fortress and things that can automatically give you out a prize card, you know, they don't work. You know, you can't really cheat your way through it because they have to evolve. And, you know, I think that is a pretty good thing to have in the format. So, Supporter. With Imposter's Oak Revenge, I basically redid this card a lot. Look at the top 7 cards of your opponent's deck. Discard 2 of your choice. I think that would be really, really, really good instead of just reshuffling your opponents because they could always top deck something really good. And so I would think that just discarding 2 cards, it could be anything, it's only 2 cards, and you know, you're using your supporter for the turn, I think is really fair and really balanced. And if it's the ace spec, well, yes, your opponent's out of luck, but you did put in the risk for the right reward. Alright, and that's pretty much everything from Team Rocket. All I really have to say is that Team Rocket, a lot of these cards can come back. And as long as they're a little tweaked, because if you just left them the same, oh my god, you know, and I just don't think we would have a game anymore, but the rules are different. Rocket Sneak Attack and Imposters, Oak's Revenge, you know, they would be supporter cards if they came back, so it would be a little harder for them, but if there was the original rules, then there would be no game anymore. Alright, from Gym Heroes and Gym Challenge, we have returning Pokemon ideas. There were a lot of Rocket cards in these 2 sets, but there wasn't enough for me to put them in separate segments, so I just put them together. So yeah, let's see what I was cooking. So Giovanni's Persian, I think it would be a great comeback. If you evolve it, you can get any card with Rocket or Giovanni or Dark into your hand. I think it would make that really, really, really busted for Dark decks and probably a better attack. Rocket Zapdos, my baby! If you watch Broke on Fridays, you'd understand. But I definitely would think that Rocket Zapdos would be an EX. Plasma would definitely an ability in some way where probably you either get 1 energy from your discard pile in the turn or in the end of the turn. Probably in the turn, because if it's at the end of the turn, there's no point in making it an EX. An Electro Burn would be 70 times the amount of energies that you would put on. So it'd basically be like Dynamotor from Flampy plus, you know, Rocket Zapdos. It would go stupid. I hope that's what they do, but I can only dream. I would main that deck, by the way. And finally, Giovanni's Machop. This would be a great single prizer to have as basically their version of Fortitude. You have to flip a coin and Machop's not knocked out. Instead, its HP becomes 10. But it reminds me of like crappier Survival Brace. So instead, if a Pokemon... I kind of rearranged the coin flip ability. So if a Pokemon would be knocked out, flip a coin... the opponent is knocked out of, instead of you, if you get tails, and if there's heads, the opponent knocks you out. So I think that's really good. It makes things really balanced. More single prizers need to be better. Yeah, I think Giovanni's matchup would be a very balanced, very fair way of playing it. And then we got some returning trainer ideas from Heroes and Challenge. First, Giovanni. Keep everything the same. Choose one of your Pokemon in play with Giovanni in its name, or it could be Dark or Rocket. For the rest of your turn, you may evolve that Pokemon even if you just played it, and that would be just super amazing. There would be so many ways of playing around that card. It's like Salvatore, but with none of the drawbacks, and it's a supporter, so not really that much of a risk. And then I have a love-hate relationship with this card. The Rocket's Trap. I think this would be a great first ever A-Spec supporter card. You get to look, instead of flipping a coin and then choosing at random, with this A-Spec you get to look into your opponent's hand and take 3 cards out of it, and of your choosing as well. So next turn they do not have the building blocks, and they're going to have to work and dig for it if they still do. So yeah, I think that would be a really, really good way of reinventing this really cool concept. And finally, the minion of Team Rocket. Just a lot of coin flip, jargon, so we kind of changed it up again. Instead of, flipping a tails twice and ending your turn and, not really having an ability if you only get 1 heads, we just kind of made this a lot simpler. If 2 heads, return their Pokemon into their hand. If 1 heads, return one of your Pokemon into your hand. And if 2 tails, nothing happens. A supporter shouldn't mean the end of the turn, because a supporter is pretty much, after it's done, it's already almost the end of the turn. So yeah, that's what I would do with Minion of Team Rocket. And then we've got our Team Rocket's Returns, the very last set with Team Rocket before the new one comes out. So let me share with you my ideas. So first, Dark Tyranitar. We put 2 damage counters on all the Pokemon, as long as it's in the active, not just basics. And this would go really well with Frostlass, just getting more energies, and maybe it could be paired nicely with Dragapult EX. And then Second Strike would give you the attack ability of +1 colorless for retreat. And that would stop your opponent from making any crazy moves unless they got switch, allowing you to keep upping the damage. It would probably be a very small attack, but it would pack a very big punch if Dark Tyranitar met with those. And then we have our hand manipulation Pokemon, Dark Houndoom. Kind of reminds me of Arbok a little. You attack with Shakedown. I'd probably make it 1 Dark Energy. And then suddenly you can take a card from your opponent's hand out random. So it would kind of be just another hand thing, but I would expect Pokemon to bring something like that, because Pokemon right now is really obsessed with hand control, and not a lot of people are playing it anyways, so I don't know why Pokemon keeps saying it's a good idea. And then Dark Gyarados, make more damage on the Dark Scale ability. And, just like every Gyarados out there, bigger attack for sure. But I would want to break Dark Scale for sure, because it would give Gyarados more of an ability to exist, or a reason to exist. And I think that maybe half the damage from the opponent's Pokemon would be better, so that you can come in, kind of like that new Bomb A-Spec card. But, if you knock out Gyarados, your opponent really gets punished, which Gyarados deserves. I don't remember the last time Gyarados has ever gotten a good card. So, yeah, Gyarados return, maybe. Whew, man, lots of talking. Oh my gosh. Alright. Dark Ampharos. So, Pokemon who evolve take 50 damage. It would be the TCG equivalent of Stealth Rock, which I think would be amazing. Especially for things like Zard and Guardy that have so much energy. It would really make your opponent think twice about playing evolution Pokemon, because Dark Ampharos could be all over the place. It wouldn't hurt Guardy that much, because Corellia can't evolve twice. Guardy would lose, a lot of attack. So it would make Guardy 3 310 minus 100, that would be 210, which is what rightfully Guardian needs to be, and Charizard as well would make it 230. It would really bring these EX Pokemon that are just too big with broken abilities down a level to make them as bad with HP as those big basics that are roaming around there, really evening the playing field with those tanks. So hopefully Dark Ampharos comes back with an ability like that. I would really appreciate it. Dark Slowking, definitely the Cunning ability is really cool. You check your opponent's top card, and you pretty much look at it, and then you shuffle back into the deck if you don't want it to be their top deck. And then with my version of Cunning, you would look at the top 2 cards and pretty much just put one on the bottom of your deck and one on the top, and your opponent would draw that. I think that would be really cool. And what I like about Cunning overall is you can do it from anywhere. It doesn't need to be in the active. Alright, and finally with Dark Muck, I think that it could be the new stall choice once Snorlax gets out of the field. And it's really cool because just like Dark Slowking, its ability can be from anywhere, which is just +2 to your opponent's retreat cost, which I think is a brilliant ability for a stage 1. And, even though Snorlax would walk out the door and Dark Muck would make things more balanced for stall, I think it would make stall a lot more easier to play with and less boring because you're always on your toes. Alright, now on to Team Rocket Returns. Returning trainer ideas. That's a lot of returning. So, there wasn't many trainers that I thought could come back, but there was a lot, but some of them already existed, right, already, and so it was really hard for me to become creative. So this is what I got, and I'm about to show you. POW hand extension. I think this would go great, but not as an A spec, because it's not too broken to be an A spec, but it's also not, it's kind of broken to be an item, so keeping it as a supporter I think would be the best way to have this card to keep it as is, which I think is fine. You move one energy card attached to the defending Pokemon to another one of your opponent's Pokemon, or switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon with a defending Pokemon. So, I don't know, maybe it could be an item, I'm not sure. Maybe like a couple more broken abilities in POW hand extension, maybe like one more kind of slightly inconvenient thing. So, yeah, that's my opinion on it. Surprise Time Machine would be a great A spec to come back for those stage evolution Pokemon. You basically de-evolve a Corellia to get a Gardevoir back in. You de-evolve a Charmeleon to get a Charizard back in. You can literally do so many things with this. It would change the game in ways we wouldn't even imagine. And I would hope to see this back in any form, even a supporter. But I think an A spec, I just think the card is so broken that it can be an A spec, maybe a little tweak. And then Rocket's admin is probably returning. I feel like Pokemon loves this card. It was in Celebrations, it was in the collector's set, and they love this card too much for it to not come back, and it would be a great way to replace Iono, allowing the opponent to shuffle the deck instead of put it into the bottom, which would make it easier for everyone to probably get what they want back. And finally, Rocket's Hideout, just keep the same, but make it +10 more, like +30 instead of +20, which would be great for the Rocket archetype, for sure. Alright, now we got some returning Pokemon EX ideas. My first go-to is the legendary trio Zapdos, Moltres, and Articuno. I think they would be great to have back with their abilities. Probably moderately tweaked because they put a dark energy and they get an ability just like the Loyal 3 trio. It would definitely be different. These abilities are like kind of lame, so hopefully we get something different with these. I think my favorite one is probably the Moltres, where you can get the retreat cost for free. So that would be really cool. And then probably, Skizor EX. I didn't really have that many to choose from, and Skizor EX kind of stood out because of its rotating claws. But instead of just putting it on Scissor, if this comes back, then, I would like it, to replace a Pokemon or energy on any Pokemon. That's pretty much all I have for the EXs that I want to see come back. Okay, so the Pokemon Company has blessed us with the one confirmed Pokemon, Mewtwo. And in the past, we've had Mewtwo from Team Rocket, and they basically don't really appear that strong. Not as strong as what Mewtwo would become or what was before, because Mewtwo had a really strong attacker, back in, the before gym days, because it could absorb energy and basically, hit for 40, which was pretty broken. And then the Mewtwo EX, I don't know much about. I haven't really got into it, but I know that it can switch the damage counters, which probably was pretty good at the time. I'm not too sure, but this was the teaser image that confirmed that Mewtwo was going to be in the Rocket set, and here's my opinion on it. The Team Rocket set, hopefully does not bring about a broken Mewtwo card. If we get another broken Mewtwo card and it's as broken as it used to be back in the days when people only played that and Darkrai, I don't know. I don't know, the meta's just gonna break, so let's just hope that they calm down with the Mewtwo. My biggest hope is that they were able to make Mew EX really balanced, and I think they're probably going to be able to do the same with Mew. I have high confidence that they will be able to make Mewtwo a very balanced card, and not break the format. Because Zoroark is already going to do that, and we'll talk about those Pokemon in another video. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe. And let me just ask you, what do you want the next video to be about? I'm kind of having trouble starting to come up with these video ideas, so I'm going to let you choose. And please do down so in the comment section below. We got a deck review, Pokemon news, or tier list of jungle. Thank you all so much for watching again. And remember, if you need to sneeze, grab a tissue. Bye-bye, guys.